I think the intellectual revolution that's going on now to restore liberty in this country is well on its way, and there's no way they're going to stop the momentum that we have started.
Hi, I'm Shanarchy. I wasn't supposed to be on for quite a while, but I guess I'll go ahead and take the reins here. It's what I do best, I guess. Sorry if my camera is just a little bit fuzzy. It goes in and out of focus here. Anyhow, the question that John is proposing to people is what we are doing to continue liberty. Everybody has their own way of doing things, and that's the beautiful part of being individuals, and it should be respected no matter the way that they decide to do it. I'm going to share a little bit about myself with you, and kind of bear with me. I just wrote this today, so I'm going to go ahead and just read it for you. What am I doing to continue liberty? All that we can do is to continue bombing our brains with knowledge, filter it through, and tell whoever is willing to listen what we know. We have to educate others as well as learn from them. It's very important that we continue to believe in freedom no matter the interpretation of the word. I believe in freedom. I believe in the freedom to choose how to live my life and make my own personal decisions without government interfering. I believe in total and complete individuality, personal responsibility, and I resent the government telling me how to think, how to live, and how to believe. I just want to live my life, and I want you to be able to do the same thing. We don't need a government-run society to survive and live in peace, harmony, and prosperity. The government is oppressive, and it is the problem in maintaining peace, not only here in America, but across the world. After witnessing the fraud on both sides of the aisle during this election cycle, which, by the way, was my first and last that I will participate in, I made a personal choice to be truly free, and to me, that means becoming an anarchist. Now, before everyone goes crazy about anarchy, just remember that this is my choice. Just as most of you continue to choose to be libertarian or whatever it is that you wish. That's your choice and not my business or my place to try and force you to change. Contrary to a lot of people's beliefs, anarchy does not mean chaos or living in or creating a chaotic state or situation just for the sake of creating disorder and chaos. You know, anarchists are not just a bunch of punk rock kids running around with their middle fingers up in the air, destroying everything and disrespecting everyone. Again, I just want to be left alone to live my life. I'm very similar to a libertarian, only I believe that instead of the size of the government being the problem, I believe the government alone is the problem. So if you examine the government and you look at it in scrutiny here, it is blatantly obvious that it possesses powers completely unnecessary in any case to bestow upon anyone or anything. Its vortex just swallows up every other government upon the continent, and my dear friends, it can be said to be nothing less than a hasty stride to universal empire in this Western world of ours. You know, this seems very flattering, you know, very, very flattering to young, ambitious minds, but very fatal to the liberties of the people. This is why I choose to opt out of the state. This is why I choose to do my part to take over the media. And this is why I choose to do with everything in my power to educate our youth. I do have quite a gang of children, and the ones of age able to understand the message that I want to come across. They understand perfectly well what is happening nowadays to our freedom and our liberty, and they are prepared and continuing to prepare themselves mentally on how to deal with these atrocities that are being pushed upon us by the U.S. government. But I'm just going to finish up really quick on what I have to say about furthering liberty here, and then I'll go ahead and let John come back up and take it back. Today in America, we have become a nation of complacency. We have become numb to important issues, locally and globally. Stepping out of our comfort zone, mentally or physically, is a near impossibility for those with the same day-in, day-out schedule. But for those of us lucky enough to carry the burden of truth, we are constantly intertwining ourselves with one another in order to spread that truth. We purposely throw wrenches into our daily lives and routines to see what comes out of it. We don't worry too often about how offensive it may be to someone, or if this message of truth and knowledge is taking away from what we've once considered to be a normal life. We are anything but normal. We are messengers. We are strong. We have the gift of the gab, well, most of us anyways. And we will not stay silent no matter the cost. And we are growing to understand now that staying silent is indeed a crime. I was awakened to the truth of what is happening to my America just shy of a year ago. Within minutes, my life had completely been turned upside down, realizing that what I had learned in school meant absolutely nothing. It was invalid. I was fooled by the very same adults that I was told to have the utmost respect for and to listen to and follow. I was fooled by the administrators who, had always told students, we care about your future. I was fooled by my parents, the ones who are supposed to mold you into who you are. And for that, I will give credit where credit is due. I am not a complacent one. I am not stuck in a daily routine. I welcome people that I consider to be the wrenches to disrupt any normalcy whatsoever about my life. So I welcome the truth. How do you begin to tell someone that all they have known and learned has been a smokescreen? Remember when you first woke up, was your mind not blown? Did you not feel like you had to be in a rush to spread absolutely everything that you just learned to as many people as possible in the shortest amount of time possible? I mean, shit, it felt like I totally lost my mind. But I didn't. I gave birth to the truth, and I knew that no matter what struggles may lie ahead, it will be mine to carry for the rest of my days. I started bombarding my loved ones and my friends with, what I had just discovered. I turned my television off for the first time since childhood, and I absolutely refused to turn it back on. The news, there was no more news. Reality shows, it's all bullshit. It was all lies. It was all a mind game. Television, I knew now, was a form of distraction from the truth. Being a newborn of this, I didn't really handle communicating with others very well about the issues that I was concerned with. I lost friends that were in my life for years. My relationship with my significant other at the time of 5 years was completely destroyed. People didn't seem to care in the same way that I did. They weren't concerned with the massive amount of debt that we were in. They weren't concerned about our military men and women, being involved in an unwinnable war for what seems to me to be lasting forever and ever. They just weren't concerned with the very rights that we were born with being stripped away by an out-of-control government. They just didn't care. Or so I thought. I now believe that they do care. They just aren't one of the strong ones like you and I. They aren't willing to put away the normal. It's just too stressful. So that is our job to do. Those are the people that we need to continue this message for, because they're the ones that are going to be, shocked by what we all know that is coming. So anyhow, I basically just ended up secluding myself away from everyone I possibly could. I knew from that day on that this journey, this burden, was going to be forever, and never again would I feel normal. So of course, after crying like a big baby, I realized that there had to be others just like me And I knew there were others. I just had to stand up, put my big girl pants on, and wipe my tears and find them. And I did. You guys are here. They're you. You guys are my chosen family. You know, one of my last Facebook posts at the time, right when I woke up, so to speak, was I'm taking my cool off. You know, and that saying there is me saying goodbye to everything I was complacent with. It was time. You know, it was time to venture out into another life with like-minded individuals that have experienced exactly what I have and have the strength to carry the burden of truth as I do and that you do. You know, you guys are the messengers, and that is what this country needs. That is what our fellow Americans need. That is what citizens globally need. You know, you guys are freedom, your liberty, your justice, and your truth. So hopefully I continue to do my part, whether it be by making YouTube videos, relentlessly trying to make my neocon boss aware of what he thinks he's supporting, along with my coworkers. I can keep interpreting news into my own and publishing it for friends and strangers to see. There really is no limit as to what you can do to spread a message. You know, sometimes you can do the smallest things, like stand in line at the grocery store while you're waiting to pay for your items and pretend you get a phone call from one of your friends and you just act so shocked, like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Why can't we just be free? You know, little things like that. You know, I keep Ron Paul's Revolution book in my dash of my truck, so wherever I go, if people walk past my truck, they'll see this book. Hopefully it'll stick. You know, and if it doesn't, then we just keep on trucking. Anyways, I keep trying to chatter away about how I want my freedom and my personal choices and my life to be respected and left alone. And hopefully, what you and I can do is extend yet another branch of honesty to this tree that we call liberty. But, you know, that is all that I have for Continuing Liberty. I was scheduled to do a show in my room tonight, and I do have a very, very important guest that is waiting on the line right now. She does not have a computer, so it will be over the phone. And it's a very important story. But the topic of my show is going to be on police brutality. That's what I do to continue the movement and truth, is try to focus on stories that the mainstream media refuses to cover. So anyhow, I'm going to check with John and see if John Light is ready to come back up and give us his take on Continuing Liberty. So hopefully you guys will stick around and catch my show.
Wow, talk about lag. All right, I was out painting. See if I can hear myself. You guys hear me? I don't hear nothing. I'm perfect. All right, well, I know that. Not sure what's going on. Apologies to everyone. I was out working. Just got home. Still covered in paint and stuff, but please talk a lot. Well, yeah, that's what I'm good at. Paint the fence. No, not painting the fence. But John wanted me to come up here and talk about where I believe that the movement is, well, not maybe the movement is going, because the movement is going to go in 1,000 different directions. Libertarians, you know, it's said that it's like herding cats, and in a lot of ways it is. In a lot of ways it's not. Individualism is something that I hold dear, and I think we all cherish. Even those who aren't on our side probably cherish it to an extent. What I would say is, from what my point of view is, where I think that people should be going, and I don't think that everybody should be doing the same thing. I think we should go and have the same goals, but, you know, everybody tried their, if you don't want to work in the Republican Party, then by all means, please don't. If I can convince you that that's the way to go, and you want to try to do that, and you want to, throw on a suit and not scream at neocon little old ladies, telling them how dumb they are, then come on out and hang out, and we can try to wake up some of these people. In 2013, in the state of North Carolina, we're going to be electing a new chairman of the GOP. Robin Hayes is our chairman as of now. My friend Nicole Revels was live streaming some of the things that he was shenanigans he was pulling off down there in Tampa. And look at that, man. Tell me that ain't just right on time. Except, no, hell no. That's what you get for having an internet phone. Don't know if you guys heard that, but whatever. So Chairman Hayes, he was very belligerent in pushing the rule changes that he said Mitt Romney wanted at the exact same time. It's rude. Shut your phone off. At the exact same time, Mitt Romney was telling Ben Swan that he had no idea about the rule changes, didn't want anything to do with them. We all know that that's not true at this point. So he's stepping down. We're going to have the chance to elect a new chairman of the GOP. That sounds great because, what Hayes had done. Hayes actually sat our delegates this year. In 2008, he didn't do that. We were supposed to have one delegate from the state of North Carolina, and he refused to seat that delegate. This year, he sat 6 delegates. 5 of those were elected delegates that would go to Ron Paul by the percentages that Ron Paul got in the state of North Carolina. And then one of the delegates was allowed to change. That was a Santorum supporter. He didn't give the chance to all the Santorum supporters and other delegates to change their vote, which is one thing that we're upset about. But at least he did allow one. So we did get 7 instead of what we were only supposed to have was 5. The establishment has a guy that they want to be the new GOP chairman in North Carolina. Sorry to bore you with North Carolina, but this is where I'm coming from, and I'm trying to help you guys to understand my situation. And the situation is comparable to some other states. A guy named Wayne King, who wants to chase us out of the party, who wants nothing to do with Ron Paul people. They don't need us. They want us to vote for Romney, but they don't need us. Our goal is to bring more people as delegates to the convention here in North Carolina to make sure that we can elect whatever chairman that we would like. Now, are we going to be able to elect a chairman like someone like me who's not been in the system, who hasn't rubbed elbows already with a lot of these guys? No. We're going to have to get some Santorum-type supporters, some of the, maybe Gingrich-type supporters to vote for our guy that we're going to push. Obviously, we're going to be pushing the guy that we want. Compromise? Yeah, I don't know. Compromise. I compromise when I stop at red lights. I don't really want to. And who was that? Vote for Cantwell. Don't compromise. Yeah, I know. I see women I want to sleep with every day, and I don't because I'm married to my wife. It's a compromise. If you can't compromise at all, then you're not ever going to get anything done. If me and you are going out to Marky, John, vote for Cantwell, if we're all going out to the bar and we're going to go hang out and have a few drinks, and we stop at the first bar, and Marky picked this place, and it's totally dead, and they're doing karaoke, and these annoying people keep getting up there, and Marky wanted to stay there, we might have to compromise and go to a different bar. Compromise is not something that you want to do on your principles. Compromise is something that you don't want to do with your belief system. Although I've got people asking me to compromise and vote for Gary Johnson, who is pro-choice, and I can't do that. I'm not going to vote for Gary Johnson. I'm not going to vote for Mitt Romney. I'm not going to vote for Barack Obama. I will write in Ron Paul, as long as that doesn't not invalidate my ballot here in the state of North Carolina, which I still haven't figured out, because it's not even that big a deal to me. If I have to leave it blank, I'll leave it blank, and I'll vote for Dan Forrest. I'll vote for Steve Royal. I'll vote for Mike Causey. I'll vote for Matthew Ridenhour and Wayne Powers and Richard Brevet and the other Liberty Republicans that I can vote for in the state of North Carolina. Back to my story, though, we will have to have somebody that can reach out to some of the other people that are upset with the establishment. These neocons, teocons, whatever you want to call them, insulting names, it's not going to get you anywhere to call them insulting names. So if you want to stand on principle and scream your head off at these people and tell them how stupid they were, and let's face it, a lot of the people that are in the Ron Paul movement were these stupid people at one time. They came our way. And a lot of them, it took them a long time to come our way because a lot of Ron Paul supporters are screaming at him. I mean, if you want to stand on principle and feel good about shoving a sign in people's face and telling them how stupid they are, then have fun. Please don't do it around me as I'm trying to influence the Republican Party and actually win and actually get our ideas put into law. You know, and I'm not trying to attack anybody. I'm just saying it's a huge problem in the liberty movement. It just is. Ask anybody who was once a neocon and has now come to the side of Ron Paul what took him so long, and they'll tell you exactly what I just told you. So Wayne King wants to be the Republican chairman of North Carolina. He wants to kick us all out. He has no need for us. We don't want him to be the Republican chairman. So what we've got to do is we've got to have more numbers. This past year, there was 1,250 some odd delegates at the highest point of our convention in Greenville, and we had about 375, something like that, of those were confirmed Ron Paul delegates that we knew were with us. We could have probably picked off a few of these retarded geocons that we should just beat over the head with a stick. We probably could have got a couple of those guys to vote with us as well. But we decided not to push our luck and accepted our 5 delegates, because if we didn't, we could have lost all of our delegates. So we accepted that because we had been outflanked, outmaneuvered, and our Ron Paul supporters didn't show up. That's another problem that we have. People not showing up because, I don't know, we can't win, it's not worth it, it's this, that, and the other. Our goal, us 350 some odd delegates that showed up, we've been very active since then. We've had a Conservatives Against Unconstitutional War rally that Gary Johnson actually spoke at. Jordan Page came and played guitar. It was a great day. And then, obviously, we just did our End the Fed, as many of you guys had across the country. And we had our End the Fed here in Charlotte, where Representative Glenn Bradley was our keynote speaker. Glenn Bradley was like I said, a representative. And after the census was this year, so there was redistricting going on. And they redistricted him out of his district. So instead of crying about it, he ran for Senate. He did not win his primary, and they pretty much, you know, they did that to chase out the most pro-liberty representative in the state of North Carolina out of the state government. Not very nice. That sucks. Well, our goal is to make him the chairman of the Republican Party in North Carolina. He will have control over what races get money from the Republican Party to run for elections. He will have influence on who will get people to knock on doors, where the call centers are set up, who's going to be making calls for who. And we can't win that by just yelling and wearing Ron Paul shirts and saying we hate the GOP. We can do that by explaining to them where the neoconservative movement started from, how it was started by Trotskyites, who are far leftist communists that came into our country and infiltrated the Republican Party. Those communists didn't come here and scream at the Republican Party and say, you dirty, stinking capitalists, you need to be neocons like us. Mr. Republican Robert Taft is an idiot. My God, how can you guys be small government in John Birch Society? What they did was they eased their way in, and they, that's funny, Jamie. They eased their way in, and they took over. And the same thing with the Saul Alinsky. You know, Saul Alinsky said the real and he's right about this. Saul Alinsky is right. Real radicals don't dress like hippies and or dress like Black Panther or somebody who's outside of the system or whatever. Real radicals cut their hair and wear a suit. And the leftists on the Democrat side were able to infiltrate the Democratic Party. They were able to infiltrate all of the universities and the school systems and the media, and that's how they took over a party that once had John F. Kennedy as its president. And, Kennedy is not a perfect president, but he was pretty good. He cut taxes. He realized that these wars were not the smartest thing to be involved in, and he wanted to end the Federal Reserve. That is definitely not the Democrat Party of today. It's been completely taken over. So we have options. Yes, we can go the drop out of the system, try to go the education route, educate everybody until everyone drops out and we just non-compliance and all that. If you were at any of the End the Fed protests this past week, we had some good turnouts, but let me tell you folks, we are fucking miles away from anything like that ever occurring. I mean, the only thing that's going to get people riled up in this country is when an NFL replacement ref makes the wrong call in the back of the end zone. Okay, in Spain and Greece and all over the world, you got people rioting. In communist China, people climb up onto video cameras, rip them down, spray paint them. We don't do that in America because we've got it too freaking good. Okay, we've got it really good. Even though things are bad, yes, things are bad to our standards. Yeah, they are bad. Are you kidding me? I can't afford the new iPhone this week, or I can't go on vacation somewhere. That we are spoiled brats, and that's one of the problems that comes with that, being spoiled brats and the baby boom generation and everything that has come from that. We are not this country. I can guarantee you, and it ain't because I'm saying it, so blame me all you want. I don't care. We're not going to have this mass educational awakening. If that was the case, we would have an investigation into nanothermite, and we would have an investigation into this, and the Bilderberg Group would be talked about every day, and Alex Jones would have won the war years ago. It is not working. It's not. What is working is taking over in my opinion, and I probably sound like I'm yelling at you guys at this point. Like I said, I just got home. Johan said, jump up on here. I didn't even get a chance to make my famous pink grapefruit juice and vodka. So it is what it is. I've got water. So, yes, what I believe, and obviously many others do believe and many others disagree, but I truly believe that we are making change. Is Ted Cruz the best guy to ever run for office? No, but he's a hell of a lot better than David Dewhurst, who is the main guy when Ted Cruz and these other guys were supporting kicking the TSA out of Texas. David Dewhurst came in there for Rick Perry and beat everybody over the head with a club and said, we're not going to do this. The TSA is our boss, and thank you, sir, may I have another. We got great candidates like Justin Amash. We've got, and a lot of people are upset with Rand Paul, but, Rand Paul's trying to end foreign aid. He's doing lots of great things. So I know there's a lot of hate towards him right now. In my opinion, he's done the right thing. We've also got Massey in Kentucky. We've got Mike Lee. We've got people like Jim DeMint who will stand with us on some of these issues, and we need them to stand with us on some of these issues. And when Jim DeMint says Ron Paul is important, Ron Paul is the important part of the Republican Party, that there's no room for the establishment Rockefeller Republicans anymore. It has to be the traditional conservative, what he considers himself, and the Ron Paul libertarians. That's beneficial to us. We're moving in the right direction. We're screwed over in Tampa. I think that shows how strong and how well we are doing. They couldn't just ignore us. They had to make an ass of themselves collectively, and they did such a bad job. Even Michelle Malkin, Dick Armey, and Rush Limbaugh were all standing on our side saying, this rule change is horrible. This rule change, who are these 12 guys that are going to pick everybody now? Are these 12 guys going to go knock on doors all across the country? Are they going to sit around and phone bank for hours on end like we do? No, they're not. If you kick out the grassroots, you become the Democrat Party. And that's the thing. We can't win just because we have the right ideas. We have to have the numbers. So in North Carolina, us 350 delegates are each pledging to try to bring 5 delegates with us to the convention this year. If we do that, we will have over 1,500 delegates, and we will easily be able to decide who the next chairman of the GOP will be. You can't wait to get started on this. We need to get those numbers now. We need to build those numbers up. Make sure everybody's registered Republican. Make sure everybody's doing the right thing. Make sure people understand what they need to do. People get intimidated. I know a lot of folks that said they were going to show up to the precinct meeting, and you got to show up to the precinct first. I mean, if you can't show up to the precinct meeting, then you can't go to the county, district, or state. Sometimes they'll let you slide in. So if you missed your precinct meeting, you've got a good excuse. Ask somebody like me to make a motion. I'll make a motion and ask that you be added to the list. And as long as there's not a bunch of jerks in there, they might let us do it. A lot of times they want to add some of their people into the list. So if they're doing that, definitely, if people miss their precinct, make sure you've got people to say, oh, yeah, you've got 5 people that you want to add? Okay, we've got 10 people that missed. Let's add them all. That sounds great. All in favor? Aye. We just increased our numbers again. When you go to your precinct meeting, if you haven't done this, it's really simple. They'll ask, in North Carolina at least, they ask for a $10 donation. You don't have to give it. I think I gave $5 just to be nice. And my friend Donovan was like, no, screw these guys. I ain't giving them nothing. Just said, I'm broke. I can't help you. You go over, you sit at a table, and you'll have your envelope there and make sure you're in the right precinct, match up your voter card and all that. And then you'll look in there, and more than likely you will see that your precinct, my precinct, let's say my precinct, Precinct 89, Precinct 89 had available spots at the precinct, 11 available spots, which eventually gets knocked down at the district convention to 6 available spots that will go on to the state. In my precinct, out of the 11 spots, there were 3 people that showed up. All 3 of us were Ron Paul supporters. We could have brought another 3 Ron Paul supporters, and we would have had 6 uncontested delegates all the way to the state convention. after our precinct meeting, and I write my name down, they come and make sure that I'm actually there, showing my voter card and everything. I'm good to go. I'm good to go. Sit there through the rest of the meeting and hear what people have to say, see if there's any Liberty candidates, cheer really loud for them. If there's any candidates that don't like what they're saying, you don't want to boo them. You're supposed to be trying to work with these people. You just don't cheer for them. And if you do boo them, then you're kind of giving yourself away as to who you are, which is not really what you want to do. You want to, it's not like some deep undercover thing, but when you play poker, you don't show your cards to everybody the entire game. So after that, we went on to our county and our district. We elected Matthew Rittenhauer, a Ron Paul delegate, a former neocon, and who has now endorsed Ron Paul before his primary even came up. Took a lot of heat for it. He actually went to Tampa and cast a vote for Ron Paul. He spoke at my End the Fed rally, and if you go to my YouTube page, Republic Rebels, you can see Matthew Rittenhauer explain how he came to be a Ron Paul supporter and champion for the Ron Paul message. So, I don't know if I should keep rambling on here. I don't see anybody telling me to stop. What is that? Stop! Chuck! Yeah. Any questions? Great job, Chuck. Thank you, Shanarchy. Okay. Start wrapping it up. Okay. Well, I'll start wrapping it up by just saying, I really do hope that everybody tries to get into contact with the Republican Liberty Caucus, YAL, anybody who's fighting for liberty anywhere. Having End the Fed rallies is great. It's great to meet people. Having anti-war rallies is also great. But it's not going to change anything. If you want to change things, there's a huge, gigantic monstrosity of a system that is controlling this country. Infiltrate it, take it over, put your people in power, and win. Thanks. And sorry I wasn't more prepared, but I was glad to do it. Thank you, John, for putting this together, and I'll hang out for the round table. I believe there's going to be a round table afterwards. Thank you all. Have a good one. Peace.